Hey guys, Caitlin here. By the way, I want to show you my headphones. They're new headphones that I got. Pretty cool. But however, it's not about the headphones today. We're gonna have a little bit of a story time because I had a dream last night that could probably make this video alive. Okay, so I was just minding my own business, just dreaming like how I usually dream. And all of a sudden, the dream starts off as experiencing as me being a goat. And I was one of those goats that would have been white, not racist. Please, please. So, I was this goat. I didn't have any spots or anything, no brown, no anything. Just a white goat. Sadly. Why? Why does my life have to be like this? And all of a sudden, okay, so then I was like in a barn or something like that. I don't know. Like I was like at a fenced area where goats go. Like all these goats are there. And then for some reason, I got out. I'm free. I am free. Yay! I finally got out of the dungeon that I'm in because of my goat instincts. And then for some reason I found like this guy, like this farmer down the street found me. Like this was like an area where the like goats are on the street or something like that. Like not literally on the street, but over somewhere. And however, there's like a barn and stuff like that, all this other stuff. And there's only these two. These two are just neighbors, and it's just those two. Nowhere else. No other barn, no anything. It's just the wilderness where it is. Like there's trees or something like that, but it's not like really, really close. It's like far, like really far. Far enough that you can see it and it looks really tiny. And then he grabs me like he's leashed me, and I'm like talking to him like bah, I kept talking to him like, let me go, I'm not supposed to be here. No. And then he's like, well, you're a talker, aren't you? And then after that I said another one of those, and he said, shut up, and I'm like screaming at him. I'm like screaming at him. And he still has me. He still grabs me and stuff like that. And for some reason, I go into his barn. And this is the funny part. The barn is filled with furries. Goat furries. Just goats that are furries, and like there's men, there's women, there's just all of these goats. They're just men and women that look like furries. I thought that was hilarious. And I'm like crying over here. I was like the only animal that was crying. And there's like a rodeo going on, and I don't know what the rodeo was, but I didn't get to see it. But I did make it over there and stuff like that, and then I did become a furry myself. Or probably just the story ended there, and then I just kept going on my mind. Or I woke up or something like that, like crying or something like that. Like not actually like crying, but like sad, like feared or something. Like, why do I have to experience this as a goat? I'm a beautiful goat. I was a beautiful goat. I was one of those goats with like, instead of like the floppy ears or something like that, I had like the ears that would go over here. And that's all. And I don't know what happened after that, but if there was anything else that would happen after that, it would be me turning into a goat furry. But I didn't in my dream. I did in my daydream. except instead of daydreaming, it was dreaming with my eyes open. And that's all for what would happen. I woke up, I was kind of feared, I was kind of crying, I almost looked like that I had a heart attack. Like, of how I felt that night. Like, over here, all of it was covered in fear. Covered in fear. Like, I was scared. I was afraid. I did not know what to do. I was a beautiful goat that had to risk that goat's life to become a furry. And why would I do that? Because it would be like if I would be standing. But you know what? I would rather stay as an animal than a furry because I do not want to do that. If I would talk, that's okay. But I would rather stay on the ground than stand up like humans because I am not a humanoid if I was an animal. Boy, if I was ever wanting to be an animal, I would choose to be a llama. Why a llama? Because they are amazing. Actually, a llama is my favorite animal anyways. I am more likely to love farm animals more than house animals or jungle animals. Because farm animals are more likely to be the neutral part. Like, instead of a tiger at the zoo, you got a horse. And instead of a monkey, you got chickens. Instead of, well, you do have horses at the zoo. Wait, do you? Wait a minute, no. Instead of goats. Wait, no. Instead of something, you got goats. Okay, I need to think of the animal. Instead of something, you got goats. Except that when you're at a zoo, you probably would see goats and stuff like that. But I'm just gonna say, a zoo, like, that's a petting zoo. A full-fledged zoo has animals from around the world, like alligators. They're basically the reincarnation of dinosaurs, except that they're just big lizards. So does that one that's called a dragon. I forgot for what it was called, but it's one of those lizards that would like it would be like one of those that would just like the saliva would be poisonous, but it's like a lizard that could like be enough to eat you or something. I don't know. Like it's big enough to eat you, but just so you know, this lizard could be a pet too. I'm just saying. That's the knowledge. And however, instead of something you got goats, and probably instead of giraffes you got goats. And yeah, you also got llamas as well, unless if you don't have llamas. But on my dream, there was only like goats, nothing else. No cows, no horses. Probably instead of lions, you got cows. Like basically, farm animals are just the neutral part of the project. Not an actual project, but the project for this world to be made. Get it? I don't know. He's adorable. You need to see him. That majestic little lion. Ooh. So yeah, and do you know what's even cooler? Is that in Random Tale, you can probably guess that I think that instead of goats, they're going to be llamas. Or there's probably just going to be two characters that are llamas. And here's one thing that kind of, I don't know, triggers me a lot. Okay, so in this one AU that somebody made this AU where there was Kara. And Kara, instead of like the fully fledged dead Kara she is, she basically comes alive because of Papyrus's meaning. Like, Papyrus literally goes to her grave. And he's like, there's a full-grown skeleton over here. There's a full skeleton in this ground. And then he gives her back to life. Do you know what triggers me about that? This. Kara is Azriel's sister or brother. But do you know what? Like, Kara's like a 7-year-old or something like that, and people mostly seen her as a she. Like, I've seen on the internet that's a she, but who knows if that's really true. But however, I think that Kara is actually a she, and Frisk could be nothing. Like, in my AU, Kara's a she. Saying that Kara's a she, like, my friend is like, I'm like to my friend, she's a genderless child. And then she's like, no, she's a girl. And it's like, what's the difference? Like, seriously. Some people just like her being genderless, but you know what? I like her being a girl. Because Kara has been being shown as a girl this whole entire time. And her face actually does represent a girl anyways, from the pixelation. From like, of how, for what colors she got, like everything. Like everything about her represents her being a girl. Because, and how, then there's, okay, so Frisk is a no gender person. Why? Because that's just how the game is made. I see earwax on my blanket. Boy. Also, some people ship their character with Sans. Some people ship Toriel with Sans. Some people ship Frisk or Kara with Sans. I'd rather ship Toriel and Sans. But however, here's only one thing. I'd rather say that Sans should be shipped with Toriel, but there's only one problem. She's old. Like, she was alive. Like, Sans couldn't even be an infant at the time, or he wouldn't even existed at the time. Like, Toriel is an old goat lady. She is very beautiful, but she's also old. Not saying that she's a grandma, but of how the record of how old she is, she's... Oh, thank goodness I almost got out. Thank goodness I didn't do that. So Toriel isn't a grandma. Of how old she is probably like at her hundreds. And Sans is like in his 20s. But it's okay to ship them because they're both adults, except for Toriel being how old? What? Like, how old is Toriel? Like, is she 20? Like, how old did she get? Like, Flowey and Azriel, like, some people don't get that Flowey is basically Azriel. And Azriel is basically Flowey. People don't get that Azriel is just Flowey, but just a flower. People don't really get the, like, oh, look, it's Flowey. Oh, wait, you're a goat? And then people are like, okay, he's a goat, that's okay. Oh, cool, it's just a real being. And that's what people are like. They get excited because it's a real being. But some people who didn't play Undertale don't really get that Azriel's really a goat. I've been spoiled on Undertale and Deltarune. But do you know what? I'm trying to finish Undertale right now so that I can get to the final part. I'm trying to finish Undertale to get to Deltarune. And why? Because when I'm trying to play Deltarune, it's not letting me. And do you know what? Guess what? I'm going to go and play Undertale. I'm going to go and beat the game. I'm going to try and beat Mettaton because, like, that's where I'm at right now. And it's been like that for, like, the whole entire year. And after that, I hope I can beat Mettaton. Like, I'm kind of, like, I have to use my left hand to do the keyboard stuff, and then I do this to press enter and shift. And it's kind of more easier for me to do with my left hand instead of my right because that's how controls are like. And I wish I had an actual controller so I can beat Mettaton. Because sometimes that can get hard. Really hard. And of how rusty I am, it actually ain't a problem because I've been going on that trying to beat Mettaton for a long time. And man, has it not gone good. Like, instead of, like, sparing him, I'm, like, beating him. Like, from his arms to his legs. Like, you have to go on the full genocide on him. But if you're, like, a pacifist and, like, okay, here's this. Who would kill Papyrus? Now, Kara, because she didn't do anything. She was dead the whole time. And if you would say that in the comments that, no, she really was alive at the time, but dude, that was Frisk. Like, I'm not saying that you're dumb or anything like that, or you really are going to comment that, but if you really are going to comment that, then might as well do it already. I'm going to probably even call you dumb anyways, but do you know what? Why not? I'm not going to actually call you dumb because that would be mean, and also I'm not a mean person, and my cat is adorable. I like to brag about my cats because of how fluffy they are, and they're super soft. Yeah. Also, I got plushies up there. I got Sans, I got Papyrus, Toriel, Temmie, Azriel, Kara, and Frisk. That's who I got. Vaping is not safer than anything. It's like twice as much the smokes that you get. Are you dumb? Yes, you are. Don't smoke. It's bad for you. Okay, so, I don't know. That's all I have to say for now. But however, I hope that you have a nice day. Also, instead of like Frisk and Kara going over there, it's actually you're like Frisk is over there standing there, and the one is gonna be the demonstration for Toriel's saying of like of her demonstration of like rather you fight or mercy. And however, instead of Kara being there, she's actually a mad dummy. She, like, 2 of the dummies are replaced as Kara and Frisk. Mad Dummy is actually just going to be Kara, because why not? He's the one who has the knife, and the other dummy is just going to be the dummy that it is. I think that he's going to probably have wheels or something like that, or nothing. Or he's just gonna hop a lot. Who knows? Also, I don't know. I did get some new sweaters and stuff for next year. I got like this one hideous one with like a unicorn on it. It's like a pink one with a unicorn on it, and it's really hideous. That's what my mom thought, but I think that's cute. Sometimes I see hideous stuff as cute. Why? Because that's just how I am. I'm gonna make another video. But have a good day, everyone. Like if you want, comment if you want, subscribe if you want, and I hope that you all have a very nice day. Bye.